This is a long-term review of the Klim Carlsbad jacket and pants. The comments and opinions in this video are my own, based on my experience with the product. I was not paid by any manufacturer or retail outlet to make this video. I purchased this product with my own money. I chose this product using my experience based on my own research. Please do your own research. I am not a professional reviewer or journalist. So I've had these over a year, and I've probably got 15 or 20,000 miles on them. The reason I was looking for these was a year-round set of adventure gear that was adaptable and easy to use, so something you can move around in and not feel constrained like some of the more road orientated stuff. This is a lot less of a jacket and pants set than say the upper level. I think it's called the Adventure Rally, and this is really a basic set. It costs a third of the price or less than the upper models. I don't even know if this is a base model or not, but it's got a lot of features and it's exactly what I was looking for. So I purchased these one size larger, both the jacket and the pants. What I like to do is use this with a fleece liner and then some type of base layer on the pants. When you're the liners that come with a lot of motorcycle jackets and pants are bulky. You can't regulate them. You've got one liner, that's it. I can put a fleece under here. I can put a sweatshirt or a long sleeve t-shirt or something like that and still have room to move and have that adaptability. Same with the pants. The pants, more than just cold weather riding, when I'm on long trips in the summertime, I like to use these with shorts. So once you get to camp, pop off the adventure pants, you're already in your shorts, pop your hiking boots on or your camp shoes on, and you're ready to go. So the size is exactly as stated. I usually take an extra large and a 36 pant. This is a double extra large and a 38 pant with a 32-inch inseam. The cut is definitely an American style cut. It's a straight cut. It's not a V-shaped cut. Same thing with the pants. They're not high-waisted. They're about mid-rise. They're very full-fitting or full cut. So when you're out riding, this is almost like wearing motocross gear. It's just very comfortable. It moves with you. There's no stiffness. There's no binding or anything like that. It really, in general, it works very well. Again, this is not the Adventure Rally. There's not the liners, and when I looked at it at the store, even the outer shell was really, just felt like an overall stiff, a stiff garment, both the pants and the jacket. This is very pliable. You can look up all the specifications. I'm not going to give you that. This is just general overview of the clothing. You can find the specs on different vendors' websites or other folks' box opening videos. So the ventilation, there's just a ton of ventilation in this jacket. I've worn this over 110 degrees, and I've worn it in the 30s. If you open it up, there's plenty of room for air to go through in the sleeves, the chest, ventilation out the back. Same thing with the pants. There's ventilation on the thighs, in the front and in the rear, and it works really well. Sometimes you can have your vents open and think your pockets are open, but that's not the case. They are kind of close to each other. Okay, one of the most comforting and aggravating things you can have on any motorcycle jacket is the neck area. This one has a pull in the back to tighten it up. I've never really had the need to use that. The neck is lined with a very soft material. That works pretty good. It does have a Velcro closure. I'm not fond of Velcro. It does wear out, and after a year this is already starting to wear out a little bit, and it does pull away occasionally. It does have a pullback for this. The neck closure, because of the Velcro, it's got the stiff side on the inside. I find sometimes if I'm wearing a high neck fleece, it fills up the collar more, and this can have a tendency to rub the bottom of your neck and make that raw. D3O armor, it's got it everywhere you would want it: back, elbows, shoulders, knees, hips. I think there's probably a couple more pockets that you could fill up with D3O, but for a premium gear that you're paying premium dollars for, it's got the armor wherever you want it. D3O, if you haven't seen it, is this pliable orange stuff. It's almost like it's almost like rubber until you hit it. When you strike it, it solids up. It's very comfortable. Thank God I haven't had to actually test it as far as a crash, but wearing it, it really isn't as cumbersome as some of the foam CE armor. I really like it. Some folks don't like it. The one thing I do have to caution you about, if you are camping, and like I do, I'll fold this up and use it as a pillow in the tent. And what you'll have is any of this armor that is deformed when you're doing that, if it's folded up like a taco. If it's cold in the morning, let's say below 60 degrees, like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, it will hold that shape until it warms up. So especially the problem I had was the back armor was folded like a potato chip, and I looked like the hunchback from Notre Dame for about an hour until my body warmed it up. And we were a fair amount down the road, but once that happened, it loosened up and it was fine again. But in cold weather, it does have a tendency to stiffen up if it's off of you. Once it's on you, you've got no problems. All right, pockets. There are pockets everywhere. I like there's like an emergency tag you can order. I've had 3 Klim jackets that I've purchased, and you're supposed to send away for this tag that goes in here. I've sent away for it every jacket I've had, and they never show up. So I don't know what's the deal with that. However, I put my garage door opener in here, so when you pull in, you can just hit it with your finger and the door's up. You don't have to scramble around looking for it in a different pocket or something. It sits right there. It's a very small pocket. There are 2 chest pockets. I saw a review that talked about these chest pockets were also doubled as ventilation. That is incorrect. Your chest ventilation is over here. These have nothing to do with it. So you've got 2 large chest pockets, you've got 2 large front pockets, and then you've got 2 hand pockets. I don't like the hand pockets too much. I don't really put my hands in my pockets that much. However, the front pockets work great to put. You can put a lot of stuff in there. Inside is a phone pocket on one side and an electronics pocket on the other. In the pants, there are just 2 thigh pockets. They open up, which I really like. This feature is where they have a closure like that. Plus, there is a zipped closure. So if you're scatterbrained like me, especially at the fuel stop, you shove your wallet in there, the receipt, and you forget to zip it up, it's probably going to get knocked closed anyway. And it's at least holding stuff in there temporarily until you can remember to zip it back up. But these 2 pockets hold quite a bit. Right on your thighs, it's out of the way and doesn't really cut into you. I purchased this jacket one size larger, so when I'm not using it with an undergarment, you know, a base layer, I purchased this kidney belt. It's not really a kidney belt. It is a, it more or less just keeps the jacket from flapping around, which it doesn't do much even without it, but it just kind of gives me that security to keep the waist part of the jacket in. There is a wind cinch on here, however there's not the typical side cinches or the hip cinches that you see on most jackets. Like I said, this is a frill-free garment, but this really helps out. It just keeps things lined up and everything. I really, for the $30 extra to buy this, it really works well. There's an integrated loop system, and it's hidden behind the lining of the jacket, so I really think that that's probably one of the best things you could do. Even if you've got one that fits you exactly, it keeps the jacket from riding up also. Also, talking about cinches, you've got them in the sleeves. These work pretty well. I know some jackets have more than one of these, but they tend to get in the way, especially if you're using some type of undergarment or a liner. These two are in a perfect position. They come across the top of your forearm like that, so that you can take whatever clothing, maybe you've got long sleeve shirt, you can put it in your hand and get it through without binding your fist up. It's big enough you can get your fist through, get to the ends. The cinches on the pants are right where you would expect them, right at the hips, and there's probably about there's like about 8 inches of cinch that you can do on those. So if you go on a pretty good diet, those will probably still fit you. Okay, sleeves. They're definitely roomy. There's two different types of outer shell, whatever that Cordura stuff is, Denier 500 or whatever. There's two levels. There's the stiffer stuff that you get all over the Adventure Rally jacket, but they just put that in strategic places, right where you're most likely to get the most abrasion, and then they put a little bit lesser Cordura or whatever it is elsewhere, so you get the flexibility, you still get some abrasion resistance, and you've got the maximum abrasion resistance along the areas that you really need to, and it really goes down to the cuffs on the sleeves. And talking about the cuffs on the sleeves, they're not lined. Some jackets have a soft liner in them. I don't care for that. Kind of drags on your gloves. If you got your gloves tucked in here, I use a short glove. I don't use a gauntlet glove. So even if you're using a gauntlet glove or short gloves, these kind of go over the cuff, and it still allows you, with the material not being soft, it allows that glove to rotate back and forth. What I don't like about this is the Velcro closures. I don't know what you would use other than Velcro to give you an infinite adjustment. However, Velcro is kind of low end, and it wears out, like I stated before. This should be fairly easy to have someone replace. However, the level of Velcro that they use is really cheap. It really doesn't hold very well, and it wears out. Still speaking about cuffs on the pants, they seem to wear really well. They've not been abraded. The stitching is still there. They use a double layer of the lighter material. What I don't like about it is how these things snap. So one snaps, so your boot's out this way, your toes are out that way. One snaps around this way. And the other snaps around that way. So it's you have to kind of do some sort of gymnastics to get to them. And you can't really, I like mine tight, so I can't get my foot through it. However, there are 3 snaps. They work very well. It's very well adjustable. There's a storm flap in there, and there's also a zipper to further open them up. In case you have really big boots, I have Garnier boots, and the Garniers are pretty good size. I don't have to unzip this to get them on. I just have to do the snaps. So I don't know if that's really necessary, because they're not, the gaiter on that when you unzip that is not big enough to get over your boots. Okay, with the pants, like I said, I bought these a size larger, but even in the any pants that I use for adventure riding, I use suspenders. It just keeps them up, keeps it from tugging at them. Even when you're sitting down, keeps them pulled up. Just a good thing to use, and who knows, you could probably use these in a survival situation somewhere. Like I said, these are mid-rise pants, and they do fit really well. They do hold on. The lining, when you pull your foot out, sometimes will catch on your foot and it'll get all distorted. That's the only crab I've got about the liner. The waist, like I said, it's mid-rise and it does kind of hug your hips, and that's very comfortable. However, it's got a 1-snap closure here. I'm used to seeing a 2-snap longer closure. Even with these being larger than what I need, it has a tendency, if you catch it the right way, to unsnap on you. I haven't had them unsnap and unzip. However, I like to make sure that all my stuff is on correctly when I'm riding down the road. The zipper, your regular zipper, it's not really usable, it's kind of short, and this kind of forces you to pull off more than you would normally need to use the restroom. The legs have leather panels in them, just like dirt bike pants do. This is great, because I mean, if the bike goes over on you, you're not going to melt your pants. It's usually going to hit this. I know I've hit this before, and it doesn't bother the leather. I've had the bike drop right on my leg and not have an issue with the exhaust. You've got your typical brand badging everywhere, including Gore-Tex. These are Gore-Tex lined. I've had several occasions to ride through storms, and I've been completely dry. Unlike some of the lower end, lower brand versions of adventure wear, these things are actually built to keep you dry. I went through just over the late summer, I went through a couple of really torrential monsoon storms, and I was bone dry with these things on. I didn't even have overgarments, I didn't have anything like that. Just these garments kept me dry through the whole storm. So as far as closures, all the zippers are weatherproof or weather resistant zippers. I don't know if they're YKK or not, you can look that up, but they're all very easy to operate, and I've even operated these on the bike. The only thing that I take a little umbrage with is the zipper pulls. If they're going to put a zipper pull on there, make it big enough that you can use it with a gloved hand. You really sometimes have to take your gloves off or fish around to find this little tiny zipper pull. The main closure for the jacket is just a large plastic zipper with 2 storm flaps snapped at the bottom and snapped at the top, and Velcro closures. We already know how I feel about the Velcro. So as far as cleaning these garments, I don't like to put my my motorcycle gear in the washer and dryer. I think it beats them up too much. The way I do it is I'll usually take a hose to them, and I'll take the same brush I use to clean the motorcycle with. I'll fill a bucket up with some Tide. I'll just rub the Tide on inside and out, hose them off, and it's worked pretty well. They haven't faded. They haven't gotten that pilly stuff that you get in the washer and dryer. And they're pretty, I mean, once you do that, they're clean, they smell great. You leave them out in the driveway to dry, and they've got that fresh outdoor scent. So I don't think I've forgotten anything as far as I wanted to convey. I may have. If you have questions, leave them down in the comments. As far as specs goes, you can probably find better information on one of the websites where you can actually pick it off and read it. However, if you want to know something about how something works or how it's held up, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a great value. I think it was, I got them on sale. It was less than $700 for the set. That's kind of pricey, but I think you're going to have something that's going to last you a very long time. I've bought some of the gear that you buy from one of the retail outlets that's their own brand. You can maybe be able to figure that out. And it lasts about a couple of seasons before it starts showing wear. This stuff here is just as good as when I purchased it. It's held up. I think this is going to be adventure gear for years to come. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate you stopping in and checking out my video. Please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Adios.